My wife and I had gone off to preach somewhere. We were ministering somewhere, and my mother-in-law got sick. And she got sick, and she was saying, I'm not breathing good. I'm not feeling good. And we said, we'll be back home. We're doing this meeting. I can't remember what city we were in. And we'll be back home shortly. And when we got back home, she was on life support. In 2 weeks, she was dead. The deceptive nature of grace makes you think that if you're walking in grace, you don't have to pay nothing. So my wife's mother, her best friend, her confidant, the one she trusted in a new city with new people, with little kids, her backup, her plan, her strategy, died. Gone. Strong as an ox 1 minute. Going all over the church, planning communion services. Fussing because stuff was dusty. Sweeping up in the rafters. Straight helping Bishop get it done. 2 weeks dead. We buried her. Almost 2 years later, my mother died. How could that happen? How could that happen? How could you have grace and trouble? When her mother died, it was a terrible blow. I wrote something in the obituary I still can't read today. The loss of her mother, I can't even articulate. I don't even want to talk about it long. It was horrible. Count on her. I practically lived in our house. Not the typical mother-in-law at all. All of our backup gone. When her mother died, it was horrible. When my mother died, it was indescribable. Back to back. But before she died, she lost her speech. She lost her ability to swallow. She lost her memory. I'm changing her clothes. I'm cleaning her up and preaching the gospel. I'm preaching the gospel and coming home and trying to get her to swallow applesauce and setting her on the toilet. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, and come home and I'm all over the television sets. I'm writing books. I'm in the hospital typing books while she's passing away. And then she died. And I almost lost control of the whole thing. And while I was bleeding, my 13-year-old daughter came in and told us she was pregnant. I'm talking about the threshing floor. I'm talking about I'm talking about, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. See, some of you don't understand yet what I'm talking about, but some of you know what I'm talking about, and all hell is breaking loose, and it feels like somebody got a hammer up against both sides of your head, and your head is going to pop up under the pressure, and you say, this is favor? This is grace? This is grace? The Dallas Morning News was out here every week trying to get one of the members to say something about my daughter being pregnant. Not one of my members would give them an interview. Not one, not one, not one, not one. So I'm at the threshing floor. And I've come to that place that grace will always bring you where you got to pay something for it. You got to pay something. It's pay up time. It's put up or shut up. It's endurance time. It's affliction time. It's struggle time. It's a time where grace doesn't look gracious. David is at that point, after being anointed, after being lifted, after being raised, after conquering. Now grace doesn't look gracious. People are dead. They're dead and they're dying everywhere. They're going down, dropping like flies. And David has come to the threshing floor of Araunah, and David is being threshed himself. And he comes to Araunah because sooner or later an invoice is going to come for every grace in your life. Sooner or later, mark my words, sooner or later, you're going to have to pay up to be what came easy. That's what separates the men from the boys. Anybody can go when the grace is being poured out on you. But when it looks like you went from blessed to cursed, and God says, how you like me now? If it comes too easy, does it mean anything? How can I offer God something that costs me nothing? Especially, Michael, when God can be touched by the feeling of my infirmity. How can I offer him something that I can't feel? If what touches God is my feeling about it, how can I offer him something that I have no attachment to? It's easy to be generous with other folks' money. You see, the threshing floor, you still got to go through the threshing floor to become God's man. For you to sit down and have power when you sit and power when you stand. I can't give you everything on credit, because your experience is too important to be missed. There are certain things that you can only learn about God through suffering. Oh, help me preach it, Lord. Help me preach it today, Lord. You cannot run down this aisle and get anointed by me laying hands on you. Oh no, the devil is a lie. It costs more than that. You have to cry longer than that. You have to suffer longer than that. You gotta feel like blowing your brains out sometime. You gotta crawl up in a corner and cry till you get dry heaves sometime. And after you've suffered a while, you can't get this because you run with me. No, you can't run with me and get this. You gotta cry with me and crawl with me. Curl up in a corner and die with me. Throw your hands up and be frustrated with me. And feel like you can't take another day with me. And after you've suffered a while, when you say Jesus, demons gonna tremble. But until you cried like me, till you crawled up and died like me, wife because I put a ring on you. You ain't don't know nothing about being no wife. You got the name in a flash, but you're going to spend the next 10 decades earning it, crawling through it, paying full price. Respect is never given. It must be earned. It is never given. It must be earned. It must be earned. It must be earned. And just because you got a little kickoff by grace don't mean you have to pay don't have to pay the bill. David says, I'm gonna pay full price. How is it a sacrifice if you can't feel it? I know you want everything to be real easy and convenient because it started out real easy and convenient, but how is it a sacrifice if you can't feel it? David says, not only am I going to pay, but I'm going to pay full price. Don't mark it down. Don't put it on sale. Throw it on me. It is what it is. I'm going to do my own crying. Do my own suffering. My daughter told me she was pregnant. I cried for 3 weeks. I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't even talk to nobody. Nauseated. How could that happen? Never even been on a date. How could that happen? Watching over you like a hawk. How could that happen? On a national platform. How could this happen? Standing for God. How could this happen? Snatching other folks' kids out of trouble. How could this happen? Oh, y'all don't want to talk to me. How could this happen? How could you bless me to let the church go up while my mama went down? If you had enough power to do this, oh, I'm looking for some real people this morning. What do you do when the story ain't going the way you thought it was going to go? What do you do when you're losing in public? David is supposed to be king, and the kingdom is dying. Everything under him is falling apart. And they negotiate because he has to prove to God that that which has been given to him is valuable to him. Did you hear that? That which has been given to him freely by grace is valuable enough to be substantiated by your experience. He says, I'm going to pay the full price. Totals out to 600 shekels of gold. So I did some calculations on the shekels of gold compared to the economy we're in right now. It would be comparable to $600,000. $600,000 he paid to stop the plague. He says, I'm going to pay $600,000 to get this stuff, only to turn around and give it to God. Can I give me just a minute with this? It looks like he's just buying the threshing floor, but the threshing floor is on Mount Moriah. The threshing floor is on Mount Moriah. We've heard of Mount Moriah. That's where Abraham offered up Isaac. The threshing floor is on Mount Moriah. That's where David would ultimately build, Solomon would ultimately build the temple. It would end up becoming the most holy site in the world to this day. And God brought David to this point through personal pain and personal sacrifice. And he thinks he's just stopping the plague, but he's also eyeing the prophecy. That everything major that would happen between man and God throughout the preponderance of scriptures would happen in this spot of the threshing floor. And David says, I have to pay full price. Watch this. Watch this. And there on the threshing floor, David stops the hand of the angel from executing any more pain. Watch this. Watch this. Touch 3 people and say it's going to cost something to fix this. It's going to cost something. You're not going to dance this out. Every day of my life, every day of my life, every day of my life, I'm paying. Every tear, every struggle, every disgrace, every agony, every lonely night, every painful moment. Why? Because he's made us a living I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your body a living sacrifice. Why am I going through this? Because it's going to cost something to stop the plague that plagued your family, to break the curse that came out of your community, to stop the attack that the enemy has launched against you. 600 golden shekels. David started pulling out and playing a ruler. God told me to tell you, greatness costs what it costs. He said it's not going on sale, and it's not going to be marked down. There will be no discount. There will be no buy one, get one free. Every day of your life, every day of your life, every day of your life, every tear you shed, every cross you carry, every burden you endure, all on the altar. I surrender all of it, all of it, all of it, whatever it takes for my will to break. It's all yours. I'm emptying out my storage. Everything is sold out, whatever it takes. I'm tired of lying to myself. I'm tired of playing games. I'm tired of waiting on freebies and shortcuts and easy transitions. Whatever I gotta go through, I'm gonna break this curse. I'm gonna break it today. If I gotta cry my way out, if I gotta humble myself, I'm gonna pay the full price. And the angel is standing there with his sword drawn to execute judgment. David had emptied out his bag. God told the angel, put your sword up. Because just because something starts easy doesn't mean it's going to finish easy. Somewhere along the way, you just got to stand straight up to it. Somewhere along the way, you got to stop waiting on the next free lunch. Somewhere along the way, you got to wipe the tears out of your face and say, though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. The devil told me, and I'm sure he told my wife too, if he was any kind of parents at all, if he was worth anything at all, that wouldn't have happened to you. That's your fault. You're stupid. You're out there helping other people. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Everybody's talking about you. Look at you. Look at what happened to her. You're supposed to be protecting her. Look at what happened to her. Look at that. I thought she was anointed. I thought she was gifted. I thought she was called. I thought she was set aside. I thought the hand of God was on your life. You couldn't even save your mama. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look at your daughter. Look at your wife weeping. Her mama is gone. Your mama's gone. Maybe God didn't send you to Dallas. You should have stayed where you came from. But though he slay me, wow, yet shall. I had no idea when I was having my 3 weeks of total depression. Total depression. I sat over there one Sunday. Whew. And Pastor Val was directing the choir. And she said, I never will forget as long as I live. She said, I don't know what you're going through, Bishop, but we got your back. I almost collapsed. She don't know it. I almost collapsed on stage. I almost collapsed on the stage. Never knowing that that same stage and that same daughter that the place of your greatest agony will also be the place of your greatest ministry. That the area where you paid the greatest price and made the biggest sacrifice will be the same place where God will release the ultimate success in your life, and everything you paid for it, everything you gave for it, everything you walked away from to get it. Somebody asked me the other day, would you do it again? I said, absolutely. 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 When I saw what was on the other side of the story, absolutely. And the Lord told me to, and I'm trying, Lord, he told me to tell you, don't let the grace deceive you. There's a price to this thing. There's a price. You say you ain't gonna take it. You ain't got no choice. Shut your mouth. You don't have no choice. You got to take it. You got to take it. There ain't no other way. Jesus tried to find another way. Father, if it be thy will, pass this bitter cup for me. Can I get there without paying full price? God said no. It costs what it costs. And they drove nails in his hands, and they drove nails into his feet. And yes, you got it free, but he paid. He paid the price. All around this room, all around this room, everybody in this room, you paying something. It don't come easy. And it's gonna pay, you're gonna pay where it hurts. Praise is being faithful when your heart is broken. Praise is staying when you want to run and quit. Praise is going through when it looks like it's not working. Praise is being consistent when you're embarrassed. Praise is holding on when it looks like you're going backwards instead of forwards. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice To him whom much is given, much is required. And every day, it's going to cost you something to be you. Every day, you're going to pay a price. You're going to pay something every day. You're going to pay something every day. You're going to pay something every day, or you don't get to go. If you don't make the price, you don't stop the plague. Go on, take the shortcut. Go on, be stubborn. Go on, be stubborn. Do it your way. How many people gonna have to die for you to change your ways? How many dumb things are you gonna have to do for a change to come? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. God says, do you think I'm gonna let you play me? That you're gonna do whatever you want to do and I'm just gonna bless you anyway? Do you think you're not gonna learn this lesson today? You're going to learn this lesson. You're going to take this class today. You think I'm just going to keep giving you stuff to blow. So he gave me this little message. Told me to tell you, it ain't going on sale. Being a man ain't going on sale just because you didn't have no daddy. It still costs what it costs. We heard your little sad story, but you still got to man up because you're too old to be that silly. You got to figure this out. Lift your hands and open your mouth and talk to your Father. Open your mouth up and talk to your God. Your God has been talking to you. Now you talk back to him. You say something to him right now.